a very underrated gemstone. They come in a wide range of colors, and we're going to kind of do like a little bit of breakdown in terms of qualities, different colors available, and a little bit of everything, just so you can get like more familiar with in case you do want to purchase a spinel. Alright, so let's break down the basics. So spinels have hardness of 8, which means that they have a very good durability. So if you want it for something that you're going to be wearing every single day, like an engagement ring, they are an excellent choice. Just to give you a little bit of perspective, 8 is 8 on 10. 10 you have diamonds, then you have sapphires at 9, and then you have spinels at 8. It's also fun because they have very unique colors. It's not like tourmalines, for example. I'm going to be comparing the two a lot because I feel like most people, when they consider the two options, those are kind of like what they're looking at. So when you're looking at spinel, they have more kind of like orangey, burgundy flares to a lot of the colors, like very warm tones, versus if you look at like tourmalines, they come a little bit more like cooler tones, like mints and pinks, but they're always a little bit, I don't say hints of blue, but like they're colder. Spinels, you have like really hot pinks. Like it is actually impressive because these are gemstones that do not have any treatments. You cannot actually treat a spinel because they don't withstand treatments very well. You'll basically end up damaging them. And so that's why whenever you find, you know, these crazy colors, they have not been enhanced, which is so cool because most gemstones like sapphires, everything, they have certain enhancements. Like for example, like heat treatments is super common. These treatments are still considered like natural and they're not necessarily frowned upon. It's just that like these naturally occur, you know what I'm saying? Like that's really crazy. Like look at this like insane pink. Like all of these pink colors, they always seem to have almost like a slight burgundy hint to them. So those are kind of like more in like the pinks and oranges. Then you also have shades of blues, purples. See, like here we have like a really nice purple. Again, it doesn't look like any other stone. Like you can really tell that this is not an amethyst, this is not a tanzanite. It has a purple color but with like flashes of warmth to it, so it's really peculiar in its shades. Then we also have like the blues and the grays. I have not seen any other gemstone, I mean up to date, that has these shades of gray. It's actually like literally like a gray, blue, green here. We have grays with hints of like purple in it. It makes for like a really, I feel like, elegant stone. I think this shade of blue-gray became really popular in the last year. Like if you were looking for like an alternative engagement ring, this shade would really pop. And they have a really nice brilliance, like I mentioned earlier, almost similar to that of a sapphire. They really do have a nice luster, because if you're looking at the scale, just to give you like a general understanding in terms of like its refractive index, so like how much light it's going to refract off of the gemstone. So if we start at like the most brilliant, the highest refractor, we're going to be talking about diamond. Diamonds have a refraction of like roughly 2.4. Then we go down to sapphires, which have 1.75 roughly, and then it's spinels at 1.7. It's really high up there in terms of like luster, in terms of brilliance. It's also higher than, say, tourmaline, which is at a 1.6. So if you're looking for something with more durability than tourmaline, which is a natural gemstone, with really unique colors, spinel could be a very good option. In terms of valuability, for spinels, the color that's going to be the most expensive is going to be the red. Then it's going to be the cobalt blues, and then the rest, essentially. Of course, everything can kind of depend on the piece, depending on the clarity, depending on how many carats. This will obviously fluctuate. Spinels have only become their own species, like registered species, for like the last 150 years, because prior to that, they actually thought that they were rubies. They have a very vibrant red. They are often found within the same mines, and they have, you know, similar colors. To find the same quality of like clarity is a lot easier to find it in a spinel than it is to find a ruby, and so the cost difference will be maybe a little bit better if you want that high clarity to buy a spinel versus to find that high clarity in ruby. So that's a little cool, interesting fact. And like tourmalines, they are actually a colorless gemstone from like scratch, but what ends up happening is that they acquire the basically the minerals that are within its environment. If there's a lot of cobalt where they're growing, they will take on the color blue. If there's a lot of magnesium, they're going to be taking on the color red. Depending on where they are and the minerals that are there, they will have different colors. So you can find spinels a little bit everywhere in the world. I think the largest deposits are in Myanmar, Sri Lanka, and Madagascar. However, like, you can even find some in the States. So they are a very interesting gemstone. It also means that, like, because of where they can be found, you can sometimes guarantee that they're like ethically sourced. You know, if they're coming from the States, then obviously they're like ethical. If you want to learn more about like the whole ethical stuff, I'll link some videos down below. However, on the flip side, just because they are not necessarily from the States doesn't mean that they're not ethically sourced. Like here we have all the ones with the little yellow dots are actually ethically sourced from Vietnam. My gemstone dealer, she actually sources them herself, so she's seen all the factories herself. So these are some really cool options if you are looking for something that has a clean origin. There is a general scarcity for spinels. I think it has partially to do with the fact that they're really not marketed. Spinels are just one of those like hidden gems, oh, excuse the pun, that nobody knows about because nobody makes that much jewelry with it. There's not that much demand because of lack of marketing, and so there is obviously a little bit less on the market than say like the most popular ones like emeralds, or it's definitely you can find more tourmalines. In terms of identification, you can generally tell a spinel because in the natural formation of the crystal, when you look within it, they have these kinds of like, there's like a technical word, things like octagonal or whatever. Don't ask me to say it, but when you look within it, they almost look like little spirals of bubbles, and that's a really good indicator that that is a spinel. They're going to have like kind of like little like spheres, almost like a little fingerprint of these little crystals within the gemstone when you look under like a magnifying glass. In other cases, when this would happen, like if this were to happen in a tourmaline and had little bubbles throughout, maybe you would probably assume that it could be a glass or like a synthetic stone, but you don't actually find that many synthetic stones for spinels just because, one, like I mentioned earlier, they're not in demand enough. They do have synthetic spinels, but they're actually not even used to mimic spinels. A lot of the times they use them to mimic things like aquamarine. When you're buying a spinel, like obviously you want to make sure that it is a genuine spinel. You're buying it from a reputable source. When they are synthetic, there is one strange little particular thing about them is that naturally they have iron in them. And so when they are reproducing them synthetically, they don't. And so oftentimes you can actually find a little bit of a pull or a push depending on the minerals within that for the natural gemstone, versus if you have, let's say, a synthetic one, it's not going to have that push or pull with the magnet. So that's like a little fun fact. Yeah, so all the spinels within this video are obviously available for purchase if you want them. We pretty much only have one of each, so if you like it, don't miss out. And we also do sourcing, so if ever you were looking for something specific, just let us know and we will be happy to find them. If you want more information on tourmalines, because I did reference them a lot, there is a link to the video down below. If not, yeah, check out our gemstones. We have like a whole selection on our website. I'll link it below as well. And I really enjoyed making this video, so I will see you guys next time. Bye!